Welcome to the Travel Like a Boss podcast, where we interview location-independent entrepreneurs that travel the world like a boss by being their own boss. Here's your host, Johnny FD.
Hey everyone, this is Johnny, and welcome to episode 218 of the Travel Like a Boss podcast. We are in Sri Lanka, and I'm with Kevin Cook from Monkey Abroad. Welcome.
What's up, everybody? It's great to be here. Thanks, Johnny.
Dude, so I didn't tell you this, but the way I came across you is probably the most random ever. Like, from your point of view, I just kind of reached out by email.
Yeah.
But I was actually sitting at a hostel 2 days ago in, I think, Unawatuna, which is the next beach town over, and I was watching random travel videos about Sri Lanka. And when yours came up, at first I was not going to watch it because it was actually a different route than I was kind of planning on taking. And then something about your channel, I was just like, this guy seems like a really kind of cool, authentic guy. Yeah, and I was just like, man, like, I wish I would have met this guy. And then I watched your next video, and you're like, I decided to stay in Marissa for a whole month. And I was like, I'm going to hit this guy up.
Yo, man, I'm happy you did. Thank you, man.
But here's the craziest part is I was sitting next to the Swedish girl, and she was like, oh, I want to meet this guy too. But I'm sure it was for completely different reasons.
Yeah, I get that. There's like a real mixture of comments that I receive. You know, like some parts are like, oh, this guy makes good stuff or good content. And the other half is like, you know, people that are more interested in me than my content, I guess.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't seen any of his videos, check out the cover of this video or of this podcast episode, or look for Monkey Abroad on YouTube. Kevin has deep six-pack, good-looking guy, so I can see why the girls like him.
Oh, man, I'm not as handsome as you, man.
You know what? That would definitely be a lie. I think everyone's seen my videos. But no, like, seriously, I think what I really liked about your videos is that you were very, very authentic. Like, you weren't trying to be cool. You didn't have a big ego about it. It was really like, I want to show you how amazing this world is.
Yo, thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks. I try to do that. Some people would disagree. Some people think I'm... Can I cuss?
Yeah, fuck those people.
Nice. Some people think I'm a douchebag, but yeah, fuck them, man.
Yeah, like, seriously. And I think one of my favorite parts of that Sri Lanka video is you kind of cut it for a second. You said, all right, so we actually went to these other amazing places, but I didn't bring my camera. I didn't even bring my phone because I just wanted to enjoy it. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's something that as a blogger or as a digital nomad, whatever, you have to do sometimes, because otherwise you're forfeiting your real experience, the reason you travel, in exchange for creating content, and that's not good.
Yeah, and actually I hate most travel bloggers because when I hang out with them, all they want is a shot.
Yeah.
They'll plan their entire trip to squeeze in as much kind of Instagram or YouTube worthy shots in the shortest amount of time possible.
Yeah.
So they'll go to a country for like 2 days, hit up all the spots, and they'll be like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
And that's not the way I want to travel.
I know, man. I completely agree. I'm the opposite. I go and I'm like, I'll be here for 3 months and I'll make one video.
I think that's cool. Yeah. But it's one really good video.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I try to compile as much as possible. Like, early on, I didn't want to get into the habit of being like, oh, I'm just going to churn out videos and just try to make as many as possible. I always wanted to do, like, I'll spend a week at least on one video, like a 10-minute video, because I want people to always know that I'm putting my heart and soul into every video, not just like, all right, I have an idea, I'll upload it. Okay, now it's up.
Yeah, that's cool. And when you say you're spending a week, are you talking about filming it or editing it or combined?
Yeah, filming, editing, kind of combined. It depends. Sometimes it's more than that. But yeah, back in the day when I was doing my full-time digital nomad in like 2016, I made this series Traveling for $20 a Day that kind of brought my channel up. That was a really busy time. I was traveling. I was making a new video every week while I was on the road, but editing for 5-6 hours every day. That was a really hectic time, and I'm glad I did it. But it also taught me that I can't really be a full-time digital nomad. I like to have the mixture of like, okay, I can go do other work, but then if I have a couple months off, I'm gonna make some videos.
Yeah, that's cool. And I guess when you mean not be a full-time digital nomad, you mean like content creator while traveling, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your actual sources of income?
My sources of income are almost entirely in China. Of course, there's YouTube AdSense revenue, but I mean, I can't live off of that. I don't have enough subscribers and views, but I've been living in China for 5 years. I've worked for a few different companies there. I worked for a digital marketing agency for 1 year, and that kind of opened the doors to a lot of connections. So an example would be I get offers for like sponsored video content that I often, it's not on my channel. So the work that actually gives me money is video production work, but it's published on Chinese platforms on channels that are not owned by me.
Oh, wow.
So I host apps or videos or whatever, but for a Chinese audience, and I don't own the rights to it. I just get a paycheck. So
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's like the other side of the digital nomad thing.
And I guess by having your channel and having them see it's successful and that you know what you're doing, that is kind of like a show reel for these Chinese companies to hire you.
Exactly, yeah. It's in a nutshell, that's it, man. Like YouTube is just the platform that I use as a CV, essentially, to get work in promoting other people or their companies.
That's actually really cool. I don't think I've ever heard anyone mention that before, because most people who have a YouTube channel, their goal is to become a full-time YouTuber, which is not that easy to do.
It's not, no. And my goal used to be to become a full-time YouTuber. And I tried it, and man, it's so hard, dude. Like, you have to put in 90 hours a week. It got to the point where it wasn't fun. And so that's why I talk about the whole, sometimes you just got to put the camera away because I enjoy traveling more than I enjoy creating content.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I kind of like a bit of a mix of both, where if I never take pictures or I never make a video, then I feel like there's nothing to look back on.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoy that. I really like sharing the cool things I saw, things I did or ate. But at the same time, I don't want to take away from my own travel experience too much, by living behind the camera. So my rule for myself, at least, is I'll spend 5 seconds taking a photo of the really nice avo protein bowl we had for lunch.
Yeah.
But then I'll put it away. Versus not taking those 5 seconds, not having the memory, or not being able to share it. Or the opposite, when people spend 5 or 20 minutes, staging it, making it perfect, making sure the light's perfect, taking 80 photos, just to have one, and then their food gets cold and they don't enjoy it.
Yeah, totally, man. And I know both sides of that, and it's frustrating for the people that you're with too. Yeah. When you're like, you have a feast and everyone has to sit there and wait for the blogger to take his photos. So, but
at the same time, I bet your friends super appreciate seeing the cool photos and the videos of their trip after. Even if at the time they might be like, this is a little bit annoying. Afterwards, being able to share that video, being a part of it, and then reliving it, I bet they're like, man, this is awesome.
Totally, yeah. And I have to reassure my friends while it's going on, like, yo, I'm sorry the camera's in your face so much, because people will be like, oh, vlogger's at it again, but then a few weeks later when the video's up, they're always like, oh man, thank you for creating that little gem that we can look back on.
Yeah, or like share with your family and friends back home, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. So the clients that you have in China, are they like, I don't know, car companies, or what are they?
Full range. We've actually, one of the clients I've worked for was, not me personally, but I've at the digital marketing agency, Yutong Bus, actual car company.
Okay.
But mostly government clients. So obscure Chinese towns that want tourism, international tourism, but that aren't on the map. Places like Chongqing, Wuxi, even Chengdu.
Okay.
Let's see. I
don't know if I've heard of any of those, except for maybe Chengdu.
Chengdu's making its way up on the list, for their pandas and stuff. What are some other places? Yeah, Guiyang. That's just a few government clients. Also, Qingdao Beer was a client that I helped.
Oh, cool.
We did a couple digital marketing campaigns for them, and I helped them pair up with some like famous Instagrammers to produce content. So it's, in a nutshell, it's mostly just Chinese companies marketing internationally.
Okay.
That try to get tourism or try to get people overseas to buy their products.
And are you in front of the camera for these? Like, are you the one saying like, hey, come check out this city I'm in?
Full range. Okay. So if it's on my own blog, that's totally different.
Yeah.
And now you're getting into like conflict of interest territory where it's like, I work for the agency. This is the client, but I'm also a blogger. So it's like I have to satisfy my boss who owns the agency. I have to satisfy the client, but I'm also the blogger and I want to make something that I like. So that's tricky. But other times it'll be like contacting a friend who I know that's more relevant. For example, like an Instagram photographer to be like, yo, this would be good for that person. If I can bring them together, that could also be work.
Okay, that's cool. So are you pretty famous in China then? Like, do you ever get recognized there?
I've been recognized a few times in China. A few different places I've traveled around by Chinese people, by foreigners. Yeah. Right now, my biggest source of income, though, is this app that I'm hosting. It's called the Buzz Around series.
Okay.
And it's like this app where we travel to different cities in the world. We've done Hawaii, Los Angeles. We're probably going to do some cities in Europe coming up later this year. But they produce the whole thing. I help them write it. You know, we go to Chengdu for a few weeks and write it and travel. And then at the end of like a 40-day stretch of just nonstop writing, shooting, traveling, then I'm off. And that's enough to carry me for another few months. So that's when I come to places like Sri Lanka, you know.
And it's like a mobile app, or what is it?
Yeah, it's a mobile app, and it's all Chinese users. Okay. And the thing that's cool about a Chinese audience, and the media landscape there is just so different compared to the West. It's not even comparable. And if you can tap into it, or if you know a company that can tap into it, it's such a lucrative field. And so, for example, on YouTube, you have 100,000 subscribers.
Well, you have 100,000 subscribers. I have 15,000.
I'm just saying, as an example, you know, if you have 100,000 subscribers, you're not getting paid by your viewers unless you set up a third-party Patreon, for example. You're getting paid by the advertiser that's splitting that cost with YouTube. Yeah. But in China, it's different. How you make money is by, like, they have these apps where you pay a monthly subscription fee of like $20. But you get lots of really personalized content, and you get stuff in the mail. And if you have 10,000 subscribers, then you are making bank.
Wow, really?
10,000 subscribers, everyone's giving you $20, $30 a month.
Wow. So it's like your own. It's like their version of Patreon almost.
But it's direct.
Okay.
You know, because Patreon is that third party. Because sooner or later, there's going to be a platform. I think they tried, like Steemit tried to do that. They had the whole blockchain platform, but Steemit is going to fail, I think.
Yeah, probably. Well, blockchain might fail, but no.
Yeah. Well, that whole Bitcoin wave crashed and burned, last year. But I think that structure is the best way to do it, where your audience is paying you directly.
So I guess it's almost like if YouTube wasn't free and just subscribe, you had to pay $20 or something to like per user account.
Yeah, but it would be a much more immersive experience whereby, like, if you pay that $20, you're getting a packet every month in the mail with like relevant things that are going along with what I'm doing. Because it's like an educational program what we're filming also. Okay. So it's a mixture of like you watch episode 1 and here's a little booklet with information about episode 1. Okay. You watch episode 2, same thing, or here's like a mug or something. So
that's cool. Okay. Yeah. I do like. I mean, I guess from a consumer point of view, I really like how YouTube is a freemium model where, we get bombarded with some ads, but we get this cool content. Yeah. I think from a creator, it's like, it's hard to make, I don't know, like at what subscriber count can it be a full-time living? Like you have, so right now I'm at about 15,000 and I make $150 a month. You have right now 115,000 or something? Yeah. Like, can I ask how much you're making? On
an average month, if I don't make any content, usually about $400 to $500 a month, because it's coming in from old content.
Okay, and if you do make videos, like, what's a good month? Like, what's a high month for you?
If I make a video every week, a good month would be $700-800.
Wow. So I'm wondering if, because I feel like my channel, even though I don't have that many subscribers compared to a lot of the bigger channels, for whatever reason, my percentage for my ad revenue seems pretty high. And I think it's because I have guys like Tai Lopez, like targeting my channel and like just putting ads on it, because it's really hyper focused for like digital nomads, location dependents, make money online, which is like a very lucrative kind of, you know, place for people to advertise.
Yeah.
Versus you have a travel like channel that people aren't necessarily there to buy something. You know, it's kind of like, you know, maybe they want to, maybe like advertisers can like advertise like travel stuff, but it's not as lucrative to advertise travel stuff versus Ty Lopez selling you his 57 steps course for, you know, $500 or whatever it is.
Yeah. Have you like gotten on a third party computer and checked to watch your videos to see what sort of ads overlay?
Yeah. And people, but people just tell me all the time too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then that makes sense, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've never really even considered that. I just usually consider the audience broadly, like, oh, it's 40% American, 20% whatever, and be like, okay, given these percentages, I should be making this much per thousand. But good on you, man. Like, if you've got the right advertiser, then yeah, you can bring in $5 to $10 per thousand views, which is great.
Yeah, except for, you know, my scale is much lower, right? So I guess it's kind of like fishing with the wider net or fishing with like a spear gunner, right?
True, but I think that what you have is more valuable than what I have, because the number of my subscriber count might be above 100,000, but it's such a segmented audience, because over the years that I've created content, I've created an eclectic range of content ranging from Chinese language stuff to budget travel to street food to Chinese culture. It's just the people that jump on board expecting my content always seem to be disappointed with something. So no matter what I upload, I get always a chunk of people that unsubscribe and then a new chunk that subscribes.
Oh, wow.
And it's interesting to see, like when I uploaded this Sri Lanka travel vlog, I uploaded the vlog and another video, and I predicted, I knew that this was going to happen, and I'm kind of happy it did. I uploaded the video, view count, when you look at the data, the chart is very clear, view count shoots up, subscriber count shot down.
Wow.
It was like total inverse, because that initial audience, that segment of my audience, was probably subscribed because of that Chinese language video with Jamie, and they're expecting more Chinese language content.
Yeah.
And those are the people that are like, man, what the hell is this guy doing in Sri Lanka talking about, I want Chinese language. So
yeah, and he's speaking in English.
Yeah, and so it makes sense.
Wow. You know, that's like, this is really good advice for anyone who wants to start a YouTube channel or blog or really anything in general, is you gotta fucking pick a niche. And
totally.
You gotta deliver what people want and what they expect.
Exactly.
And you can kind of pivot a little bit. Like, my channel, you know, is travel, but as a digital nomad, not just travel. Like, all the travel videos I make, I'm showing co-working spaces, I'm showing, you know, like my favorite coffee shops, or kind of like more nomad related stuff. I'm staying from 1 month to 3 months in each place, you know, versus, you know, another travel channel might be about, you know, if someone's staying in dorms, or someone's staying in like super luxury Airbnbs, it's just kind of, it's a different audience. And so when people come to my channel and they subscribe to it, they know they're getting digital nomad, you know, entrepreneur content. It's either going to be about, you know, running the business while traveling, or the traveling while running your business, and that's it.
Yeah. You're right. That's how you get the Ty Lopez ad slots.
Wow, you know, this is a good like kind of discovery just being on this episode.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, you're right about having the and here's something else, and you can disagree with me or not. This is just a funny trivial point. You use the word niche. I studied like advertising and journalism in uni, and one of my professors said it's actually niche.
Yeah. Fuck that guy.
Have you? I'm not saying.
I mean, I think in French is niche.
Yeah.
But when we anglicize it,
yeah,
like
niche.
we say niche. I mean, like, if I drove a Porsche, I want to say I drive a Porsche.
Porsche.
It sounds so stupid.
No, and I'm not trying to sound like a douchebag, man. Yeah. But no, I totally agree. You have to be more niche, however you want to say it, and pander to that audience, man, because that's the biggest mistake I made, is allowing myself to bring in all of my interests instead of choosing one and committing fully to it.
Yeah. Or even just one or two.
Yeah.
So where do you think your channel is going to go kind of now, like this direction? Or does it even not matter? Because, you know, because it doesn't seem like it's that big of a part of your income. It's more of a passion project.
Exactly. Yeah. It's at this point, Monkey Abroad is a passion project, and it makes me happy to hear you say that, it makes me happy to say it, because I do, of course, enjoy the benefits of AdSense revenue every month. I like that, but it's not something I depend upon. And YouTube, for me, is fun. It's still fun, and I don't want it to become work. So, you know what? If you don't like it, unsubscribe. That's it. And I'm going to keep putting out the stuff that I like, and that's my attitude. It's a little selfish, but...
No, but it's at the same time, you will find plenty of people who like your stuff for you, and they like your eclectic kind of collection of random stuff.
Yeah.
You know? I mean...
I hope.
I'm your perfect viewer because... And, you know, maybe I'm a super niche guy, but, like, I watched Sri Lanka videos, like, perfect, I'm in Sri Lanka, like, I like it. The next video was about... calisthenic workouts while traveling. I was like, perfect, that's what I need. And then the next video was speaking Chinese, like, to people in China. I was like, oh, I speak Chinese. Like, this is this was perfectly suited for me. And then even, I haven't looked into your street food or your budget travel stuff, but I'm sure I would enjoy that as well. So I bet you there's a ton of people in the world that somehow just fit that random category, that avatar.
Yeah, well, I think it's just people who want to live vicariously, who are stuck in an office. That's how I imagine, because to be totally honest with you, travel-related content, travel blogs, anything, I do not consume that at all. Even my friends, some of my best friends who are travel bloggers, I just don't watch their content because, I'm going to steal a quote from Graham Greene. Once you live in a place for long enough, you cease to read about it. And that was written like in the 50s. So I think now it'd be like, take that and apply it to this lens.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I just was watching travel bloggers and travel vlogs only when I was stuck in an office thinking, man, I wish I could do that. But now that I do it and I see behind the curtain and it's like, I know the work that goes into making a travel vlog. So when I see Lost LeBlanc or whatever, people who are killing it, just making this idyllic travel experience come to you in 10 minutes. You're like, boy, oh, what a great life. But I know that behind the scenes, there is so much work going on. And it stresses me out, actually, to watch travel blogs because I compare myself subconsciously thinking, I could be applying this myself. And so I actually choose to totally isolate myself away from content that is similar to mine so that I can maintain whatever would come from within naturally.
Yeah, your own authenticity.
Exactly.
So I watched all the car review videos and electronic review videos for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And what drives me nuts is I can tell everyone watches everyone else's because they all start speaking in the same tech reviewer voice, and it drives me fucking nuts.
Yeah.
You know, and they will even say things like, smash that subscribe button. You know?
Everyone kind of does that, and I think now more or less it's a joke, kind of like, what's up, bro? Like, what's up, brah? It's something that is a joke that became reality because it's true. You do need people to smash the like button because the algorithm is like, yo, if people aren't doing what you tell them, then we can't push you up. And so... Yeah,
that's true, but I think it's the way they say it. I'm like, I know this person watched someone else's video and they just are repeating the exact same words.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're right, where I do need to follow the formula and remind people to leave a review of the Travel Like a Boss podcast on iTunes or on... I don't know where else.
Guys, get on iTunes right now and leave a review. Leave a 5-star, whatever that is. It 5 stars?
6 stars. No.
Leave leave a 6-star review. Guys, get on there now because it's true. Unless you prompt the audience, even your biggest followers, your biggest fans, they oftentimes will get so lost in the experience of listening to you that they'll forget to show you support through the algorithm, which is very necessary.
Yeah, that's true, because that's how other people find it.
Yeah, the likes, the comments. Yeah. And I've done experiments where I'll print it on the screen, I'll say, guys, give this video a thumbs up towards the beginning, and it's more than double the rate compared to a video where I don't say anything at all. And so anytime someone's like, yo, bro, you're selling out, being like, well, I'm like, look at the numbers. Yeah. Look at the data. You have to.
You have to. Yeah. You know, but I do think that there's a way to say it authentically and say it in your own voice versus, you know...
Smacks the like button.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, you're totally right about that. Yeah, maintain your own voice. That's number one.
Yeah. And that is the reason why I liked your video and I reached out to you, you know? So, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, man, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And now I'm going to be following you. This is honestly my first interaction with you, the first time I met you. And like I said, I don't follow any really travel related stuff. But now that I've met you and I know you, I'm going to follow you. I'm going to engage with your content. And now that we have this network going, it's just going to continue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one of the best things about being in this sphere is that you can tap into the work, because people contact me all the time, bro. And I'm sure you know. I'm sure you know too. People who are like, yo. People just in my inbox, guys, girls, whoever, who are like, oh, you're there? Oh, meet me. Come meet me. Man, I want to hang out. And I'm just like, But if someone else is a business person who's like, hey, I do a podcast, it's relevant to you. I'm like, yeah, let's meet up.
Yeah. And I'm sure, like, it's, you know, you can, and if you wanted to, you can be like, okay, let me see if this guy, you know, let me see if I click with this guy, and you can watch a video, you can listen to a podcast, and you'd be like, okay, yeah, he seems like a cool guy, let's meet up. Yeah. Versus if it's some random cold outreach, you know, email or DM on, you know, wherever, you don't know anything about that person. So you're like, well, should I risk wasting my time meeting up with this person, having it be fucking awkward?
Yeah.
And, you know, and waste my time.
Yeah, unless it's a really hot girl, then I'll make the exception.
You know what? But here's the funny thing is, you didn't reply to that girl, that Swedish girl. She's really cute, and she had matched with you on Tinder.
Really?
She was so excited because here's what happened. We were sitting downstairs.
Oh, great!
At the hospital.
I'm excited to hear the other side of the story.
Yeah, so we were sitting downstairs watching the video, and I was like, man, this guy like seems so cool, and he happens to be Marissa. I'm gonna like, you know, I'm gonna like meet him up. I don't want to meet him up. I'm gonna message him.
Yeah. And
then she was like, oh yeah, he's, you know, he's so cute, and you know, and then that was it. But then she went upstairs, and then she came. I was working downstairs for like an hour. She came down. She was so excited. She's like, we just matched on Tinder, and she was so excited. And in my mind, I was like, all right, you know, let's see who has more pull, this hot Swedish girl matching on Tinder or Johnny with the podcast.
Oh my god, dude, that is ridiculous. Yeah. No, honestly though, Tinder around here is a little bit fucked, man. Like,
yeah, why is that?
I don't know. I've over the years, I think that I've learned Instagram is a more wholesome way to meet people.
No.
Instagram DMs.
Yeah.
Because Tinder, there is this expectation.
Okay.
That is, and I'm not going to get into the, you know, deep water with this by saying anything too controversial, but regardless of who you are, man or woman, there is an expectation, and
that you're DTF.
That you're DTF, exactly. And like, no girl will say that.
They won't admit to it.
No one will admit it, but everyone knows.
But here's the thing: the Tinder was started as a hookup app, and
it is still a hookup app.
Even though people like to say like it's for friends, you know, or like, oh, just for travel buddies. Like, the fact that you are swiping left or right based on if you would bang, you know, and the girls are just as guilty of this. They're not swiping right on guys who look like they would, you know, have good conversation.
Yeah.
You know, they're swiping right on the guy with the six-pack like Kevin.
Man, I mean, to alleviate this girl, though, like, I'm not, like, going through being super, you know, selective, like, oh, this is the girl. Like, I'm just usually kind of on the toilet, just kind of going quickly,
and like,
right.
Yeah, and to defense, and this is what I told her. I was like, you know what, I bet you, like, because this was just like 2 days ago, and I was like, I bet you he just has so many matches, he just hasn't had time to go through it.
It's,
and like,
I mean, and unless it, I don't know, this is something that, because actually I'm meeting someone at 4 o'clock today that I
Tinder date?
Not Tinder, on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, she messaged me about Sri Lanka. You know, that's usually how it starts. It's like, yo, I'm going to be traveling there soon. Talk to someone for a couple of weeks. And then that, in my experience, has been the best sort of meetup. It just starts in a more wholesome kind of way. It's
more natural, yeah.
At least it feels that way.
Yeah, I see that.
It's not the whole, like, how did you meet?
Yeah, Tinder.
On Tinder.
Yeah.
Which, it carries a stigma.
And, you know, yeah, and, you know, people do get down on the DMs and on Instagram as well. Yeah. But, yeah, you're right. It's more, it could also be like a normal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're not the first person I've known who have met, like, who's like met, you know, a partner or girlfriend or just random people through Instagram. I think it really is becoming kind of like the new way for people to meet each other.
Yeah.
And I think that whatever the new platform is before it gets kind of corrupted and people start having bad experiences through it, like that's kind of the normal cool thing until people have had a couple bad experiences meeting some douchebags or some crazy girls, and then they're like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore.
I will say that I think you hit the nail on the head with that. And a very short story here. I did meet a girl that I dated for a while. We met on the Chinese equivalent of Tinder, Tantan.
Oh.
Have you heard of it?
No.
It's the exact same.
Okay.
You know, China's and outwardly, they'll be the first to admit it, they're very much a copycat culture. Yeah. And they made this app called Tantan that's just like Tinder. And I met this girl, of course, you know, super hot Chinese girl. We hit it off. We dated for a long time, but man, dude, I'm not going to put the blame on her because I tolerated her BS for a long time. But I think that what you say carries merit because it sort of damaged the way I perceive these hookup apps, or if you want to call it that, because I have a negative feeling towards them now.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, and once you're jaded, you know, from it, you're not approaching it with that super open-minded, positive, optimistic, blank slate at least. Then it just kind of doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We just have to kind of wait for the new thing, which right now is probably Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, there are a couple girls on Tinder though. To Tinder's credit, that I'm talking to that are in different parts of Sri Lanka. That I'm like, if you come to Marissa, hit me up. But otherwise, I'm kind of waiting. If not, you know, hey, the line is cast. And if I get a bite, I get a bite.
So what's your Instagram handle?
Monkey Abroad.
Okay.
One word.
Mine's Johnny FDK. Let's see who gets more messages.
Johnny FDK.
Yeah.
Word.
I'm sure it's gonna be Monkey Abroad.
Nice, man. I'm looking forward to seeing, or just I guess to seeing how the audience interacts with this later on. Like,
I would say like my audience is pretty cool. So shout out to everyone listening. You know, everyone's like a very normal person. I've met up with a lot of podcast listeners. We have a lot of people that go to our annual event for digital nomads called the Nomad Summit, which happens every year in Chiang Mai.
I see the sticker on your Nalgene.
Yeah.
Nomad Summit.
And people are super cool. They're just like normal, cool people. And I think it's because to sit through an hour podcast, you know, every week or every 2 weeks, and we're not just hyping it up, we're really talking about like business. You know, we talk about the fun stuff too, but we kind of like, we tell it as it is, you know, like we don't just say, oh, you know, like, yeah, you know, YouTube's amazing. You know, everyone should become a YouTuber. Like, you know, overnight, here's how to do it. Like, I think the people that listen to this are more kind of realistic and they're down to earth.
Yeah. And I think that we're reaching the point where the digital nomad is also kind of stigmatized because nowadays people are trying to leverage what they've created to then, I don't want to say prey on, but they leverage the audience they've made to be like, and you can do it too. And now they make money by selling their program that's like, here's how you make money by being a digital nomad or something. And I'm only saying this because I've received comments from people who are like, stop trying to tell your BS. And I'm like, I'm not, what am I selling?
Yeah, but you know, here's the thing is, at the end of the day, like, if what they're selling is really, like, actually genuinely works, and, you know, they don't overhype it like Tai Lopez does, you know, like, you could have a Lamborghini in 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but, like, if someone wants to learn how to make $1,000 a month, you know, from selling books, or, you know, like, or they want to learn how to, like, translate or write or be a copywriter, whatever, like, the path to it is relatively short and simple. It might take you 2 or 3 months. You might have to, like, learn a new skill. Totally. And if someone wants to sell a course for $300 on how to do it, and they're really walking through and answering questions, like, you are shortcutting someone, you know, years of going to, like, university or trying to figure it out on their own. Yeah. So it actually could be a really, really good thing that they're offering. But I think the stigma is people who have never done anything themselves, where they just jump straight into being a coach. And they're like, you know, that's their first job ever.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Like, and, you know, and
I got 1,000 followers, and now you can too.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, bro, 1,000 freaking followers? Yeah, right. You can't turn that into money.
You know, or someone who has, you know, let's say 20,000, and they get these sponsored trips, you know, through Instagram, but they've never, you know, they don't actually make any money through Instagram. They just get these, like, you know, 3-day trips. Yeah. And now, you know, I guess if they sell it, like, do you want to be able to get free trips from your Instagram? That's okay. but I think a lot of them, they'll sell it as like get rich off Instagram.
I see the point you're making, and I think a good way to view that is like, if someone says to you, I make $1,000 a month with my blog. In actuality, from a travel blogger perspective, this is purely hypothetical. I don't think they're making $1,000. I think that they're receiving what $1,000 might have bought them. So, and they'll translate that into money. Money is just the means to that end. And if you cut out the means and you're like, well, I would have traveled with the money I earned in the first place. So if I can just travel for free, then that'll just remove the problem of money. Yeah. So I think most travel bloggers aren't actually making that much money. Yeah. Well, maybe I'm just saying that.
No, most of them aren't. Like I know a lot of travel bloggers that go to like TBEX, like the Travel Bloggers Conference. Most of them are broke. Most of them are cheap as crap, and they just live off of free stuff. Yeah. But they also have the mentality where they're just like, they're not really putting out really good content. They're just churning crap out.
And man, I know, and that's why I can't consume travel blog. Because man, every time I can't, it's so frustrating for me when I see the most popular bloggers out there with just the most, it's just awful content. Yeah. And it gives me anxiety, I could say, because I'm like, bro, I want to make content and I want to do something that'll be significant. But then I see people who are clearly more successful financially than me creating stuff that I would never consume.
Yeah, but here's what's unfortunate, and you know, they are creating stuff where people click on, and you know, at the end of the day, guys, if you watch some crappy low value content that's just hype, you are bumping that up and making these guys more famous, and they're just going to continue that formula. It's the reality TV show formula. Yeah. You know, it's popular, even though it's mind numbing. It's crap content, but reality TV sells, and so does, you know, shiny travel blogs, you know, about, you know, getting a villa in Bali. You know, totally. That has no real legitimate value, except for it has a hot girl and cool places.
I think that you just touched on another valuable point. And by the way, I don't want to seem like a jerk when I say that. I have a lot of respect for all the travel bloggers out there who are working 80-hour weeks, churning out content. That's something I don't have the discipline to do. So
I have no respect for you guys if you're churning out crap content. You're wasting your time and our time consuming it.
Okay, so good. We have both sides represented here. It's an objective podcast. But you just touched on girls. Like hot girl in the thumbnail. Hot girl in the thumbnail by the beach. That is, and like you talk to anyone who does this, and they'll just tell you straight to your face, of course, sex sells. Indirectly, you know, if you have a hot girl in the thumbnail, you're going to get way more clicks.
Yeah, and it's true. And unfortunately, I'm part of the problem. I will click that Sri Lankan video with some hot girl, you know, on the beach over, you know, some dude.
Some dude poking his head out of the train.
Yeah. But, you know, and that's why it took me so long to find your video. I watched like 20 other ones before I watched yours. But at the end of the day, like the good content, I would like to think it ends up winning, but it only ends up winning if people, you know, that consume it really like it, share it, they comment, they subscribe, and they're like, okay, I'm going to help these channels kind of, this good content, spread the word, because the, you know, like the formula ones, the hot chick formula ones, those will always be on top. And if people want to watch that when they're in their cubicle, kind of like a reality TV show, they can. But if someone wants really good, genuine content, it's, you know, I think there's room for us. You know, kind of, maybe we won't be the most famous, maybe we won't make the most money, but I think the subscribers that we have are going to be, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, man, totally. I think you make a point, though, about the people who are watching their cubicles versus us. Like, I'm hyper-critical of content, and I can't help it. So it's not as fun to watch travel blogs because I'm comparing myself to it versus just getting lost in the experience that the creator provides, which is the original intention. You know, it's like having a couple authors talk about a really
it's boring.
It's like you know, but once you
let me just enjoy Twilight, like it's fine.
But like once you get into the writing sphere, you can't. There's no going back. You can't look at literature like that and be like, someone called this is not a book.
Yeah,
you know?
But maybe that's a warning for people not to become a travel blogger or YouTube creator if you want to continue enjoying that stuff.
Totally.
You know, I think I'm at a point where, yeah, sometimes I'll even watch something and I'll be like, fuck, I should be doing that. Or I should get a drone. And I'm like, I know my videos could be better. And then it does kind of frustrate me. And it almost made me not want to make a Sri Lanka video because the ones out there are so good. Way better than any other country I've seen.
I didn't watch a single video before I came here. I created my video, uploaded it, and then I watched all the Sri Lanka videos. That's how I always do it.
But maybe that's also why yours isn't kind of a rehash of a lot of other people's. That yours kind of came out so authentic because it wasn't, you know, like, okay, I'm going to follow the same route everyone else took.
But anywhere I go, though,
Yeah.
any content I've created, you can call it, I guess, working in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Or I purposefully make myself ignorant. I'll read about it, but I don't like to consume something that's too... It's like getting too close to what I'm about to try to attempt myself. And I know, whether it's conscious or subconscious, that I will copy somebody else in my work if I see it beforehand.
I think there was a quote about, like, all art is stolen. Because it's always inspired by somewhere else.
Yeah.
But
Very postmodern.
Yeah. But I guess, you know, at the end of the day, like, there's a difference between being inspired by other people and kind of like finding the same kind of cool spots versus only doing that and only kind of being the fake kind of thing. Like a good example of this for podcasts is one of the most popular, part of, you know, the number one podcast is Entrepreneur on Fire. This guy named John Lee Dumas, and he follows a formula where it's like a script, right? And his podcast to me is so annoying to listen to because he's not even interviewing the guy. Like, me and you, we're having a chat, we're having a conversation, there's no script, we're having a real conversation, and we're allowing other people to kind of join in on it.
Yeah.
His is like, all right, you know, John Lee Dumbass here, you know, episode 2086, you know, and like, you know, what are the top 5 favorite books you read for this year? Okay, what are the top 3, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, that's it, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
He's afraid of dead airspace, I guess.
Yeah,
He's got to come with the canned questions.
Somehow it works. And he'll record 8 in a day, back to back, but he's popular and he's number 1. Yeah. And I know that if I followed more of that formula, I could be higher up there.
Yeah, that's the devil in the algorithm. Mm-hmm. Is like, yo, make your content shittier, make more of it so we can put advertisements over it, and we will give you the reward of more viewers.
Yeah. But I think we both had secretly found the hack where we don't rely on this as our income, so we can make it authentic, we can have it be what we enjoy doing. Yeah. Because you have your side gigs, so you have your, you know, and you can use this, you know, and that's even smarter, is instead of just having this be a waste of time, you still make some money from it. It's nice. You know, $450 is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
And then you can, more importantly, use it as your resume or your CV to get these higher paying gigs. And then for me, this is kind of like my outlet, where I enjoy doing this. It helps me get connections. It gives me ideas. Like, I've probably learned more from this podcast than anything because I get to interview successful people and ask them what they're doing, how they do it.
Yeah, man. You make such a great point, dude. And I agree with you. Yeah, this is still fun for me, and I'm having fun right now doing this. Yeah. And I hope you guys can hear it in my voice because I feel like you can hear a smile through the phone or in the microphone. You know what I mean? This is fun, dude, and I can tell you've done more than 200 episodes, like 240. This is 240?
214.
214. Man, to make that many podcasts and to still be enjoying it is a great thing, dude. Yeah. So you definitely found the right niche for yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, man. I wish this podcast made more money, but you know what? It's like, at the end of the day, this is
better than money, man.
It is. It really is.
It's better than money.
You know, and it brings so many new opportunities, new friends. Like, if I didn't have this podcast, I would just be another hot chick hitting you up on Tinder trying to get you to meet up with me. And
you would transform into a hot girl if you didn't have the podcast?
Well, here's the thing: is like I would probably have a pretty low chance, but because I had the podcast, like, it is powerful. Like, this is how powerful it is. Yeah, it's more powerful than being a hot chick, which is a very rare thing.
Totally. Well, because business and connections and networking, if you have the right mind for it, is where the real life experience comes from. And even if your end goal is to get hot girls or something, the path to hot girls isn't so direct. You need to have your own passions and your own thing, and that'll lead to more opportunities, I think. So coming to you in a way is also me spreading my wings, hopefully, networking, building this thing so that I can grow and so that you can grow. And hopefully we can meet more hot chicks.
I don't know. I think you have enough on your Tinder. You don't even have time to respond to.
Okay, I'm gonna after this. I'm definitely gonna open my Tinder and be like, "Oh God,
which one was it?
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, man. I wonder if she'll listen to the podcast too.
I'm gonna send it to her.
If you're out there, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I didn't respond. Or if I did respond and I just quit talking to you.
Just say you like Asian girls.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I've totally ever since I've been in Asia, yellow fever got me bad.
Sorry, he doesn't like beautiful blonde Swedish girls. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the girl that I'm meeting today in 45 minutes is a blonde Ukrainian.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah.
Some of the most beautiful girls in the world.
Right?
Yeah. Have you been to Ukraine?
I haven't.
I'm gonna be there this summer if you want to meet up.
Really?
Yeah.
What time? Or where?
From at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I know. What time? Okay, all right.
I think I'll be there from May till July. I'm gonna
Okay.
go for 3 months. I'm gonna make it my home base for the summer.
Nice. Why Ukraine?
Ukraine is this. It's like when white people go to Asia for the first time, and you're like, "Fuck, this place is so exotic. It's so different."
Yeah.
I can't believe this exists, and like everything's just like exciting and new. For me, going to Asia, I'm like, oh yeah, this is kind of like summers visiting Taiwan, or like go to my uncle's house. When I went to Ukraine, I was like, whoa, where am I? This is like a whole new like universe, and the fact that they look like other Europeans or Americans, but their culture is so different. It's so exciting.
No.
And right now, their currency is so devalued that everything is essentially 75% off. Like a 5-star restaurant that would normally cost $100, and like these are like nice restaurants you go to, the bill come out and it'd be $25.
Okay.
And you just be like, I can't believe you can get a bottle of champagne at a nightclub for $30.
So that's one of the motivating factors.
It's it's cheap. The food is amazing. The culture is really cool. In the summer, it's a beautiful place. I wouldn't want to be there in the winter, but I don't know. It's just like I think it's like one of the last really interesting places on the earth. Like for me, I don't. I'm sure if someone grew up in Poland, they wouldn't want to go to Ukraine because it's too similar. But like as an Asian guy or Asian American, like to me, it's like going somewhere. Like for you, going to China probably.
Yeah. Yeah, it has that exoticness.
Yeah.
Exoticness?
Yeah.
Is that the noun
I don't know.
for exotic? Okay.
Exoticness. I don't know, whatever. How's your Chinese, by the way? Like, how much can you speak?
You want to speak some Chinese right now?
Let's do it.
Okay, 我们可以讲中文一点。
哇，一点还是很多。
一点多。好啊，
I think you just said 1 o'clock.
所以现在我们会讲中文。如果你们能听得懂我们说的话，恭喜你。
Wow, that's pretty good. Like good accent, good vocabulary. I would say. I don't want to like bother like the podcast listeners that don't speak Chinese with too much of it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, because I was imagining the person who's like, "Yo, what the hell, dude?
What are you
like,
saying?"
Yeah.
But actually, the episode right before this, 213, with Lydia Makova, she did the outro in 9 different languages, or maybe 8, because one was sign language that she speaks. But yeah,
Wow.
she is like, it was really cool. Super smart girl.
For real.
Yeah. So
That's like a polyglot, but that's like omniglot.
yeah. Well, so she
all
actually
languages.
was the creator of some of the polyglot conferences in Europe, some of the big ones, and then she did a TED talk on language learning. So
Wow.
she's all about that.
Man, like I studied Spanish for like 10 years in school.
Yeah.
I used to be pretty good.
Yeah.
And I went to China, and then I was like, all right, I'm really gonna study intensively. And my Chinese is now way better. But now my brain is fucked,
Wired,
man.
yeah.
Every time I speak Spanish now, all of my pronouns, without me realizing it, maybe this is just dyslexia, I speak a mixture of Spanish. All the nouns will be in Spanish, and all the pronouns will be in Chinese.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay. 有想去 la biblioteca. It's like 有
Like, yeah,
有
okay.
想 like.
yeah.
Or actually, no. Okay, that was the flip
The
flop.
flip-flop, yeah.
有想去 la biblioteca.
Yo quiero 去
Yo quiero 他的微信.
Oh my god, yeah. But maybe it's because like in our minds we're just like, okay, don't say it in English, say it in the other language. But now there's a third one.
Yeah, the synapses in my brain are just like,
Just
that's the right door, right? I'll open. Oh, fuck, nope.
No, I don't know. But it is cool that you speak Chinese, and I think it's kind of sad because even though I speak Mandarin and I could probably do really good, like I could probably do really well in business if I moved to China and I did, kind of bilingual business somehow. Like regardless of what it was, there's probably a lot of opportunity. I just don't want to do it, because it's not exciting to me. It's like the idea of me going to China is like torture, like I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. It's like going to my grandparents' house but versus going to Sri Lanka or going to Eastern Europe, it's like, wow, this is interesting.
Yeah, but China's where the money is.
Yeah.
And Chinese people know business.
Yeah.
So I'll give them that. And they just, from the top down, they make decisions. And I've got friends in Taiwan who complain about, they want democracy. They're 99.9% voter turnout. But with democracy, things get done a lot more slowly. Mm-hmm. But in China...
They're like, tomorrow we're building this tunnel.
And it's built.
Yeah.
So I'll give China that. Of course, to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs. I forgot who said that, like Lenin or someone. But like, China is like, we're going to break some eggs. Yeah. But the omelet will be on the plate very soon. Yeah. So in the States, we're over here like, which eggs are we going to break?
No, don't break my eggs.
Yeah. Break their eggs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely pros and cons to everything, but kind of a really interesting thing. And actually, I had a discussion with a local Sri Lankan guy about colonialism, because we kind of just assume from the Western world that colonialism was a bad thing, like white supremacy, like going in, like taking advantage of these poor countries, like thank God colonialism is over, right? But I asked, like, I was walking through the Galé Fort. It's like the old Dutch fort, beautiful place, and by far the nicest looking city in Sri Lanka. Have you been there?
I actually haven't.
Oh man, you got.
I know it's really close to here.
It's so close, dude. You could take like $3, maybe a $5 taxi, or a 30-cent bus ride.
Yeah.
But it's really beautiful. It almost looks like you're in Europe somewhere, and it has all the trendy coffee shops and cafes. Of course, it's gonna be double the price. But I was like, man, like if this was colonialism, like, and they built all this beautiful architecture, like they did something kind of right, even though it's kind of messed up. And when I spoke to the local Sri Lankan guy, he's like, no, it was great. They built our railroads. Like, if it wasn't for the English, we wouldn't have trains, and that's how we get around. We haven't built a single new railroad since they left. They brought us tea, and tea is such a big part of our culture. Oh, yeah. If it wasn't for the British, we wouldn't have tea. And he's like, obviously, and he said, like, yeah, of course it's 50-50. Some people, are hated it because they're oppressed. But even today, a lot of people would rather be an English colony again and be part of the English rule. Yeah,
that's a controversial thing. It depends on who you talk to, but yeah, man, when it comes to colonialism, there's lots of benefits, but you're stripping away the culture in favor of convenience and comfort. And if you talk to anyone, though, for the most part, they're like, yeah, we like the comfort and convenience, but it's that balance of maintaining what was there with what the promise of colonialism can bring. That was...
Yeah, I think it's something to think about. But
I know. But I mean, as someone who's like 90% Northern European, I don't think that my opinion about colonialism is... I don't think I have a platform to stand on.
But I think that's why it was so interesting when I spoke to the Sri Lankan guy. I would have expected him to be like, what are you talking about? It was slavery, Yeah. But the fact, and I'm sure during the time, if you asked one, they'll be like, yeah, like of course it's bad. We're being slaves. Yeah. But now with all the things it brought, like the tea and the trains, and I'm sure there's a lot of other things too, the architecture, some of the cultures, I'm sure that now, kind of looking back, a lot of the younger generation who didn't grow up through it, they just see kind of the rewards from it, and they're like, yeah, it was great. Yeah. It's almost like if you ask people from Budapest or in Hungary, like, what do you think about the Turks? They're like, oh, they built our bathhouses and our, like, really nice, beautiful buildings. But I'm sure during Turkish rule, they hated them.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think I'll bring in Shantaram.
Yeah.
This is a point that you and I talked about. I have the book Shantaram for anyone who's read it by Gregory David Roberts.
Excellent book, highly recommended.
And Johnny noticed it. I had it with me when we met, and he's like, "Oh man, great book." And so we started talking about it. And one of the big points, I'm still not finished with it, so don't give me any spoilers or anything. But one of the big points in the book is the guy that he really looks up to, Kader.
Yeah.
Kader, however you pronounce his name, he's very prophetic in the way he speaks. And he always talks about moving towards this ultimate complexity that a lot of people would call God. And anything that moves people towards that, or anything that moves us closer to that, is ultimately good. And even if we do what would be considered the wrong thing, if it moves us towards that, then it's ultimately good. So I think you could take that from what he said, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's like previous generations suffered. And I'm not saying that that's good. And absolutely at that time, it must have been terrible for people. But now looking back, you talk to like the Sri Lankan guy who can see what his ancestors have done and created and in collaboration with people who came and sort of forced this on them. And they're like, actually, yeah, it kind of turned out okay.
Yeah.
So to hear that from a Sri Lankan man is, I think, a very valuable thing for you to have heard.
Yeah,
you know,
I definitely agree, and that's why I liked talking to him so much. And this is why it's so important to speak to locals, get off the tourist track, not just hang out at hostels with backpackers. Even though it's fun, I like hanging out with Germans and Dutch people, but it's so nice kind of getting off that and meeting some locals. Like you have your Sri Lankan mom out here.
Yep.
And I'm sure, you just have this huge smile when you think about her.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're just chilling in my place. It's like so far from the main tourist beat and all the hostels. It's all locals around here, and that's how I want it, man. If I want to hang out with backpackers, just walk a kilometer, hang out at the Hangover Hostel or whatever it's called, and you can make plenty of friends in 1 hour. But if that's all that you have, you're never gonna have that immersive local experience.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of, like for me, I like having a mix of both.
Oh, totally.
I don't want to just be around people that I can't really communicate or have anything in common with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think people miss out when they just get drunk every night with other backpackers.
Yeah. And what's interesting, I think, when if you travel with a group of people, especially people from your own country, you sort of, no matter who you are, you will end up bringing your culture and forcing it on wherever you are. But if you're by yourself, it's almost like you have no choice. Unless you only hang out at the hostels or whatever with other backpackers. You sort of have no choice but to assimilate. And that's why I like, being in this house by myself, hanging out with this Sri Lankan mother every morning. She brings me breakfast. I have no choice, man. It's like I feel like I'm living the Sri Lankan life, if only for now.
Yeah, I like it. Speaking of your house, really cool place. Just like a 5-minute walk from all the cool coffee shops and restaurants. You're pretty close to the beach, and you're paying like nothing.
Yeah, man. $12 a day. It's got a air conditioning. It's got a kitchen. Bedroom, of course. Everything you could want. It's got a fence all the way around the yard. It's private. It's like a little house.
Fruit trees in the backyard.
Yeah, fruit trees. Breakfast brought to me every day. I'm sure I mentioned that.
Yeah.
But
you really like the breakfast.
Man, if you see this breakfast, dude, you'd be like, yep, but you got to mention that. Yeah. It's huge, and it's like I don't even have to eat lunch, man.
Wow. Okay.
It's that good.
But okay, so I think one thing that people want to know is how do you stay in shape while traveling and kind of working online? Because for a lot of people, when they're at home, I know this is for me. If I'm in a place for a long time, I can get into a good routine. I can get to a good diet, eating habits. I can start cooking at home. I can join a gym. But you are living on your bag. You're carrying on only like I am, but you're in great shape. How do you do it?
Man, you make a great point about routine. When you're in a place for a long time, you can make a routine, and when you have a routine, everything falls into place. I think that diet is the biggest thing. Diet's like 80%, and when you're in a place like Sri Lanka, healthy food is like a walk you're walking on the road, and you can impulsively buy something that's healthy. So that's a big part. But otherwise, man, calisthenics. Dude, like push-ups, swimming, the beach. I will not get up early unless I have an ocean to jump into. And that for me is my routine. Okay. Waking up, going swimming.
Yeah, so tell me about it. So you wake up, you bicycle down to the beach. How long does that take?
It's like 3 minutes, man.
Okay, so it's not like you're not getting a crazy bike workout.
The bike workout is, that's just point A to point B. Once I'm at the beach, lock the bike up, swim maybe 500 meters.
How long does that take?
Maybe about 20 minutes.
Okay. And are you like swimming hard, or are you just swimming and enjoying yourself?
I'm swimming, enjoying myself. I'll swim out to where it's pretty deep, and then I just swim along the beach. Okay. And some parts I'll do sprints, like I'll do freestyle sprint, and then I'll just do a casual breaststroke. I mean, it's an interesting question. And then I'll come out, run for a kilometer, do some sprints or something, and do pull-ups. You can do pull-ups anywhere, man. Like, if you look outside, if you see a tree branch, if you see anything that's above waist level, just grab onto it, crank out a set, and keep walking.
Okay, nice. And you do like a set of 10, or what do you do a set of?
I usually like 20
okay.
for the first set, and then sets of 15 afterwards.
Wow, okay.
So, yeah.
So, in total, like, how many pull-ups are you doing a day?
Every day, usually at least 50.
Wow, that's a lot of pull-ups.
Yeah.
But I guess, people don't need to start doing 50.
No. It would be bad for you to start doing that many. You'd be just tearing your muscle more quickly than it could rebuild. But I think that over time, like any athlete, like anyone who does anything progressively, in college I could hardly do any pull-ups, but I just kept doing it, and now it's like more of an endurance exercise than a strength exercise. Okay. So it's something that you can kind of maintain. I
think someone once said, like, basically you don't have to count how many you're doing, you just count how many the only ones that count are after you get tired. So like you only have to do 3, but you don't start counting until you're like you can't do it anymore.
Yeah. Have you ever read what was it, the 4-Hour Work Week, or the what was it, the 20-minute body or something?
Yeah. Oh, the 4-hour body.
Tim Ferriss. Yeah. I think he was the one that said that.
Okay.
Because I read that excerpt, and he's like, you just push your muscles to the point where you can't do any more, and then you do 2 more. Okay. Those are the only 2 reps that matter.
Yeah.
And so I do count. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point you make about, like, you do 3 sets of 12 of this and that. It's all bullshit. Do a workout. It doesn't matter how many reps you do until you can hardly. The pain is so intense, but then just do 2 more. Okay. And
then rest.
Of course.
Then repeat that process. Okay.
Repeat it, and just keep doing it, though, is the thing. Like, I don't go that intensely. Like, I'm always, I'm hunched over, breathing really hard every day, but I won't work out for more than 45 minutes at a time, because that one workout's not going to actually do anything in the grand scheme. It's like I'm working out for my 80-year-old self, not for my today self. You know what I mean?
I think that's a really good point you make, because it doesn't just apply to exercise. It's with everything, consistency and just doing it like over and over and over again. That's what builds wealth. That's what builds a business. That's what builds a following. So whether it's your YouTube videos, my blog, or podcast, it's just we're investing, or exercising. It's just consistently doing it kind of right, pushing yourself a little bit better every single time. And after a year, after 2 years, you wake up, you're like, oh yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, and everyone else who's watching is like, I could do that. That looks so, or like people are like, I don't know, people who see success and they think, oh well, I could do that, I just chose not to, or something. It's like, no, but there's something to be said about. And this, actually, I'm going to bring it back to the travel bloggers who are just churning out content. It's like there is something to be said about consistency, because I don't have that when it comes to creating content, So that's where I lack discipline, and some people stepped up, and they can just churn it out.
Yeah, and it works.
It does.
It really does work.
Especially with exercise,
I can see that.
And business.
What's your diet like? So are you eating all that bread and rotis for breakfast?
Only for breakfast.
Okay.
I eat a shit ton of carbs for breakfast.
Okay.
And as much protein as I can. I have eggs that I cook here too, but a lot of dal. In the morning, though, I don't discriminate.
Okay.
That's like, man, before 10 a.m., just go to town. Eat whatever the fuck you want.
Okay.
After 10 a.m., then be just like, look, man, I ate half my day's calories already. Okay. Just kind of coast. Drink a lot of water.
What's your typical lunch and your typical dinner here in Sri Lanka?
I'll eat rice and curry.
Yep.
Sometimes twice a day.
Okay.
With fish, always. I eat pretty much only fish.
Okay.
In the last month, I haven't had any other meat except fish. And I'll eat a tuna steak, some mahi-mahi. I go to the beach, and I'll pick out a fish. Every day, usually, just eat a whole fish.
Okay. With fries or anything on the side?
Yeah. Of course, with fries. Whatever,
Of course.
Of course. Yeah, whatever they serve it with,
Okay.
I'll eat.
So, okay, so you're not like that picky, like...
No, because I know that the next day I'm going to wake up and work out. And it's like, if I do eat more than I should, or if I do drink more than I should, drinking is the real killer,
Yeah,
I think, for gains or whatever. Gains, bro. It's, lowers your testosterone, metabolizes into sugar. It's just not good for you.
Okay.
But, avoid alcohol if you can, guys.
I can see that. Nice. I always like asking people that are successful how they did it. And what my favorite thing about it is that it's always different. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to this. They're like, bro, what is this guy doing? He's not fasting? What? He's eating carbs? Right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, we can also find someone who's in really good shape, who does fast and doesn't eat until 4 p.m., skips breakfast, doesn't eat any carbs, and that might be in really good shape too, But it's kind of like, I think what they would have in common between you and him and, someone who might be just eating carbs and doesn't eat any, any protein at all, and might be in shape right now, is consistency. They just follow one thing and they just keep doing it.
Yeah, I just know that no matter what I consume or drink or whatever, I'll always get up and I won't have that, man, I guess I should just throw in the towel because I ate blah, blah, blah yesterday. Like, I'll always get back into it. And whatever I eat, it's just fuel. Yeah. And so, yeah, man, roti, bread, whatever, man, just churn it out.
So part of the reason why you're able to kind of live this lifestyle is because you built your business to be either... Are you actually earning money now, or is it just that you earned money while you're, while you're on contract in China, and then now you can kind of just chill?
It's a mix.
Okay.
So I earned enough money to keep me fed until summer, but in the meantime, I'm still receiving AdSense revenue, and I don't even really take that into account anymore. It just kind of goes to my account, and later I check it like, oh, fuck yeah, I got that money, but otherwise, I mean, if I just factor in the AdSense itself with how cheap living is here, I'm just breaking even.
Yeah, and it's fine.
Yeah. And so for me, breaking even, because I do have other money in investments and stuff. I'm not like super rich, but if I can put aside a couple thousand here and there, I'll invest. And so like that's the money I'm looking forward to later. But for now, man, if I can just break even and travel the world, yeah, why not?
Yeah, I like it. This is another kind of different way of doing things. A lot of people, I think everyone we've had on this episode so far has been making money consistently, while traveling, but a lot of people don't realize you can kind of do both. You can have your 3-month stints of a project or work, and then like kind of a break-even point. And this is a smart way of doing it as well.
Yeah, because it's like, I never feel like I'm burnt out.
Yeah.
Because I've done the full-time YouTube thing, and it burnt me out. I've done the full-time work thing, and it burnt me out. Yeah. So I think that, like you just said, the path to success is different for everyone. And success is relative anyway. Like, what is success? Everyone has a different opinion about it. And for me, it's not about how much money I make. So if you talk to someone else, they would call me a failure because I'm almost 30 and I don't have X dollars to my name, but it's...
Well, you don't own a big house.
Yeah, I don't have... Yeah. And it's like... But the intangible things that I've received over the years that are a part of me that no one else sees are for me and for me alone. And that is where my real richness, I feel, comes from. And what is it? Hold on. This isn't my quote, but I love it. If you have a poverty of desire, you will always be rich. So I just try to have a poverty of desire. I have a couple things, and man, I just feel so fortunate. I'm thankful every day that I'm able to do what I do and be able to meet people like you and create content and just travel and enjoy my life, man. It's a blessing, and it's meeting you is that reminder that I'm in this world with you. We're out here doing cool shit.
We are. We really are.
Yeah, we're doing cool shit, and we're making money, even if we're not on yachts, man. Yeah. We don't have that sort of stress.
Yeah.
I mean, you seem like a very chill, laid
I
back
have
guy.
no stress. Like, literally have no stress.
Yeah. Because you can find that point where I know people that are making multiple tens of thousands on YouTube, and bro, the tax alone that they're dealing with is like, when I think about that, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I didn't even think, like, you get used to that kind of money. Yeah. And then suddenly the government's like, we know you made this much money, but like, yeah, you owe us like $80,000 now. You're like, what? I can't imagine getting into those waters. So
that's insane.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But dude, it's been really fun hanging out with you. It's great having you on the show.
Oh yeah.
And dude, like, you just checked the time, because I like this hour just flew by. I think.
Shit, man. Yeah, it's been more than an hour, right?
Yeah. It's And,
I just got a message.
Sorry,
sorry, hold on. But yeah, sorry to do this to you guys. And I'm slated to meet this girl in about 20 minutes. Okay, anyway, it's not loading.
Okay.
But we'll end this on a strong note, guys.
Yeah. Would you recommend people to come to Sri Lanka?
Man, that question. I cannot recommend this country enough. This is an undiscovered gem in the world of traveling, and I feel guilty saying this because I know that it's going to be tarnished soon, just like the rest of Asia. Southeast Asia is already tarnished in many ways, but Sri Lanka is a gem, and come here and enjoy the experience, take it in, and feel the warmth of the people here, because they really do genuinely seem to be happy with foreigners here. And that's, for me, that's reason enough to live here.
Yeah. I love it as well. I'm going to write a full blog post on it on johnnyfd.com, but I've been here for a week. I'm ready. I was looking at extending my flight to stay even longer, and I'm already planning coming back next year. It's such a nice place. It's basically what Bali was 10 or 20 years ago, before Eat, Pray, Love, before the tourism, before all kind of the garbage and the BS. It's like a nicer, cleaner, quieter, way cheaper version of Bali.
Yeah.
I think. And it's, unfortunately, as you mentioned, everything kind of gets destroyed, and we're kind of the problem too. Like, by us telling people how amazing it is, we're going to get more tourists, and in 5 or 10 years, it's going to be kind of overdone.
Yeah.
But right now, at least as of 2019, Sri Lanka is incredible.
Yeah. And there's nothing we can do to stop that. It's coming regardless of us praising it or not, so. But it is hot as fuck. We are both sweating our balls off right now.
But it's fine, because we've got a beach.
Oh, yeah.
I've been surfing.
Yeah.
I finally can stand up now. Like, it took... I tried in Bali I lived there for a month. I couldn't stand up because, first, I'm not very athletic in that sense. I never snowboarded or skied or, skateboarded. And what would happen is, by the time I would paddle out to where the waves were, I'd be so exhausted that I could try a few times and then be like, oh, I'm done for the day. Yeah. Here, the surfing is so easy. You just walk out and it's so cheap. It's $15 per lesson, or $2.50 to rent a board. It's insane.
None.
Have you been surfing?
I have been surfing, actually.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the partnerships I have here is I met a couple guys that have a surf school, a couple local dudes, and I'm kind of filming them. In exchange, they just let me use their board for free.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, it's like I'm not making money, but I'm not paying for a board.
Yeah. Another kind of perk of having a channel, right? I'm sure even though the $2 a day you're saving renting the board, you could have your video fees would have been much higher than that.
Yeah, but in the end, it's so much better for the universe. I think I want to help these guys out. It's like an act of friendship. Like, you give me your board, I'm staying busy. I have a project to focus on. Everyone wins in the end.
That's cool. I like it. So if you guys want to see how beautiful Sri Lanka is, I'm going to link to his Kevin's YouTube channel, Monkey Abroad, as well as the video that he made. I'm going to embed that in the show notes. You can watch that video, smash the subscribe button, hit like. But seriously, you'll like the video. You can see what Kevin's like. If you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, just search for Johnny FD on YouTube. And if they want to follow you on Instagram, it's Monkey Abroad.
Monkey Abroad, one word.
All right. Thanks for being on the show. It's really fun.
Johnny, thank you so much, man. Really enjoyed it, dude.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll hang out more here in Sri Lanka.
Yeah,
grab
for
some,
sure.
Rice and curry one day.
Yeah. Good. Do you drink?
A little, not that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
which is why I'm on the other beach. So I'm actually living on the next beach, Weligama. Even though it's quieter, there's no bars or anything there, but they have surfing. And then you're on Marissa here, where there are cool bars and more to do. But we're literally 10 minutes away, so
Yeah.
easy.
Yo, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
Really.
It's been fun. All right, guys, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please go on iTunes, leave a review, and tell your friends. Take a screenshot of this. Share this episode with anyone who might want to go to Sri Lanka. If you use Android, go on Castbox or wherever you listen to your podcast. Leave a review there, and we'll see all of you guys in a week or two. So until then, stay bossy.
See you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Travel Like a Boss podcast. If you want to hear more, including the bonus How to Choose the Perfect Niche episode, join our mailing list at travellikeabosspodcast.com. See you next week, and remember, if you want to travel like a boss, you need to be your own boss. So start your online business today and start living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of.